Hello, Audioholics. This is Logan, and welcome back to Audioholics Unite. Today, we are going to be doing AC/DC's newest album, Power Up.
I wish I could remember what album we did last on the channel so we could just replicate that intro.
I don't even like
just do the
what
same intro for the AC/DC
I think
album.
Mr. Bunkle's the last one I uploaded. I actually uploaded them out of order because we were going to do the new
For
album
those of
and
you
just
who
never
are
did.
slow, the joke is that every AC/DC album sounds the same. You're going to hear me say that a lot during this episode.
No. Yeah, but like,
in a very repetitive manner.
See the joke. Yeah, but like, you gotta understand, like, the joke is that all the AC/DC albums sound the same, and you're gonna hear that a lot from me. Just very repetitively, I think.
Yeah, and you see, the joke is that.
First of all, I just have to admire the brilliance that is this album cover.
It actually doesn't look that bad.
I mean, like, doesn't look that bad. I think it's a masterpiece. Like, Wish You Were Here, Sgt. Pepper, in the Wee Small Hours of the Morning, some of the best album art of all time. Clearly what they needed was just a bright red neon logo, and
I think that's supposed to be just like a backstage.
And then there's like and then there's still that logo, and they didn't even bother putting the name of the fucking album on it. Like, that's
they never
class,
do.
Right? They did on like all the other ones. Like, they did it on Back in Black, they did it on Black Ice, they did it on Rock or Bust. Like,
but they didn't on a lot of them too. Like,
okay, but if you're just gonna have the logo and like nothing else,
I guess oh yeah, Who Made Who doesn't have it.
Who Made Who and the one right after that have like basically the same album
Stiff
art.
Upper Lip doesn't have it. Rock or Bust does, but that album art sucks.
It does.
It doesn't deserve to be included. Highway to Hell is lazy as fuck. Like, it's that image, and then they just slapped Highway to Hell at the bottom in like barely readable text.
Highway to Hell.
High Voltage also kind of sucks.
I mean, like, okay, like the first
AC/DC logo.
Well, I mean, like, those are like American re-releases. Like, the first two anyway are just American re-releases. Like, basically how it worked was in Australia they actually got more. They got more original albums than we did. And then all the songs that we didn't get, they just released them on an EP later on.
More original. AC/DC.
Well,
or were they playing like Led Zeppelin tunes?
I mean, basically for 40 years, yeah, but... All right, so
see, the joke there is that every AC/DC album sounds the same.
It does.
You're going to hear me say that a lot in this episode.
Yeah, very repetitively.
Fuck. All right, so without further ado... Oh, wait. I have to pull it up.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Without further ado, all right. So, usual spiel, link will be in the description. If you're interested in other episodes of Audioholics Unite, that will also be in the description as well. Lately, as of like the past few months, I've been putting in the playlist of all the past Audioholics Unite. So if you like what you see here, for some reason, you can check out the other ones.
You definitely won't like what you hear in this one.
Yeah.
Go watch one of our better episodes if you want that to change.
Mr. Bunk, I mean,
Egg. All right. So we are starting.
You know what we should do? Before we do that, I just think that, you know what? I think we're being too original because we've never done an AC/DC album yet. What we should really do is just do the Shags episode again.
That was a really repetitive
Just like
episode.
just like play the hits, you know.
You remember that in the Shags episode, like a special EP came out only for us where they covered an AC/DC song?
Yeah. No. Remember in the Shags episode where we were talking about how the joke is that AC/DC is really repetitive, and you're going to hear that, and we said that you're going to hear that a lot, you know, very repetitively. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, and go with
Realize. This was the last single.
This is the last single.
And listen to the thunderstruck vocals in the intro here.
I know. And that guitar, it sounds, you know, like nothing I've ever heard before.
Yep, it's AC/DC.
Definitely AC/DC.
Yeah, definitely doesn't sound like anything else.
Definitely doesn't sound like anything else. It definitely sounds like AC/DC. See, now we're repeating that. Now the joke is that AC/DC is very repetitive and they release the same song and same album over and over again. You're going to hear that a lot, very repetitively. And
it's going to get annoying, just like AC/DC.
Yeah. And even more so, you know, okay, on a serious note.
Uh-oh, he's serious. This can only mean disaster.
This is a pretty good chorus and we're not listening to the same album. Okay, pause. Okay, so this is what we did. Okay. Everybody pause the album. This is what we did. So I wanted to test out a theory. So, you know, everybody says that, you know, AC/DC is very repetitive. You're going to hear that a lot, actually, throughout this review, very repetitively. So I thought I would do I thought I would do kind of an experiment. I put on the Black Ice album, and I mean, to be honest, the experiment kind of failed because, like, I think it was pretty obvious that we weren't listening to the exact same song, but because, like, I was pretty vague about, like, because, like, the vocals kicked in on his thing earlier than mine. But, like, you know, like, the fact that I had the idea to even do that is a symbol of how...
That's how the experiment succeeded anyway.
Yeah, it succeeded despite failing flat on its ass. Anyway, okay, let's restart the album. We are going to be doing...
Yeah, let's repeat the album.
Let's repeat the
symbolic of the fact that, see, if you don't get the joke is that AC/DC is very repetitive.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, you're gonna hear that a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Very repetitively.
Okay, are you ready? Are you ready to rock?
Yes. All right, for real though. 5, 4, 3, 2, and go with Realize.
When are you gonna realize that AC/DC sucks? Listen, seriously, listen. Those are totally thunderstruck vocals.
It is, except somehow worse. Oh my God, it is. Oh my God, this is parody at this point. I was not expecting that. Like, I mean, this album is just parody.
And everybody's saying it's really good. The fans love it. The critics love it.
I mean, the riff is pretty cool.
I mean, it's an AC/DC riff.
Yeah.
From what I understand, a lot of like Malcolm Young's riffs and ideas are used on this album, but rumors were saying that he actually played on it. That is false.
Something I saw, it was like, I was like talking to my brother about this album, and he said something like the drummer left because he put out a hit on another person on his solo album that he worked with. It's something really fucked up, but it's apparently true.
Wow. That's crazy. I mean, the vocals are really impressive considering.
I mean, it's better than like rock or butt. I mean, like, it's the reverb that does it. The reverb kind of makes it a little bit better than it probably is.
And also considering this dude is deaf now.
Yeah, he's deaf, and like, what, doesn't he have cancer or something? Or was that Angus? Or is Angus even alive? I don't remember.
Angus is alive.
Was it Malcolm that died then?
Yeah, it was Malcolm.
Okay.
This album is sort of like a tribute to Malcolm.
Oh, okay. They should have made it black then.
They made it red and black.
No, they wanted to do something original. They didn't want to like if they
truly wanted to honor Malcolm, they should have just re-released Back in Black.
Yeah,
they should have re-recorded it.
No, Tyler. See, like the problem with that is that would just be like, releasing the same album over and over again, and like,
that never do that.
It would never do that. Now, see, the joke for those who are not in the loop is that AC/DC, fairly or not, is they are considered to have released the same song and the same album over and over again. Now, and don't worry, you'll hear this again throughout this review, very repetitively.
What's funny is that Angus Young himself has said that he's released the same album over and over again.
I mean,
he acknowledges it.
How can you plausibly deny that?
He's like, yeah, we made the same album over and over again for 40 years. What of it?
Fuck you, we're still selling shit.
Yeah, pretty much. And he wasn't joking. He was being serious.
Yeah, exactly. We're still selling.
So the song is over, and we are now on Rejection, which is what I wish I could do to this album. Oh my God. This is just straight up the intro to, oh fuck. Why am I blanking? It's like one of their most popular songs.
I mean, I don't know if this is like plagiarism level of anything.
It was pretty much. Like that intro was very reminiscent.
What, like Highway to Hell, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe. There's a song that opens like that exact same way. Like da-na-na-na-na, ba-na-na. Maybe. No, it's not Shoot to Thrill. Maybe it is. I don't know. It was one of their bigger songs, though. They're not even hiding the fact that they're just like trying to make the same song at this point.
Okay, so like, real talk though, something that is actually kind of unique that I kind of like is the production on this album is
pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's, I would say, one of the best produced AC/DC albums I've heard.
Yeah, it's very clean. There's a good mix.
It's clean, but like it's not. It's clean, but like there's still a lot of grit to it. It's still a pretty. I mean, like so far,
I don't think I'd say that. It's very like modern, clean, crisp production.
Yeah, like it's not like Rick Rubin level, like like blow up your video type thing. See what I did there? But no, like the production I think is pretty good. It's not like too compressed, but it's not too clean either. I think it finds the perfect happy medium. I could not imagine them doing much better. And they like put a bunch of reverb on the vocals, which I think they should have done the last couple albums. I mean, AC/DC vocals were never really good, especially Brian Johnson. but at least like Back in Black, For Those About to Rock, Flick of a Switch, like it was tolerable, I think. Once you got to like the Razor's Edge onward, it was not even tolerable. Like I cannot listen to Razor's Edge because of the fucking dead cat inducing nails on chalkboard terrible vocals. I hate Thunderstruck. I don't care if you revoke my metal license or not. Thunderstruck is a terrible song.
That riff is legendary, though. And apparently it was all alternate picked in the studio, which is insane. For you guitar players out there, we all learned Thunderstruck as hammer-ons and pull-offs. That's not how it was played in the studio. It was all picked.
Oh, yeah, kind of insane. Definitely. I totally understand what the fuck you're talking about. Shut up, Tyler.
You don't have to understand everything I say, you narcissistic cunt.
Yes, I do. It has to be...
Okay, so, wait. Before you go into joking territory, I need to say this. This song sucks.
Yeah,
it's not even does. Like
it's really boring. Bad. It's really boring.
It's bad.
Yeah.
I'll take what I want. It's bad. Anyway, go on to say what you were gonna say. Or did I steal your thunder?
You can't fucking like interrupt somebody in a joke. Now the joke's not gonna make sense. It's just gonna come off as me saying stupid shit. Like
that's what all of your jokes are anyways, so I don't see the problem.
Okay, but shut the fuck up, Tyler.
If I did that, we wouldn't have a podcast.
I mean, you're right, and I hate that fact.
Okay, now we got Shot in the Dark, which I actually think is one of the best AC/DC songs ever made. Fight me.
Really?
I really like this song.
I'll give it
I think that riff is really good. The intro is great.
I like the riff. I don't know if I like this. I don't know. Like, this sounds kind of just... And I'm not even joking. It just sounds like too generic even for AC/DC.
No, like, I find it memorable. Like, even the first time I heard this, like, I was recalling the melodies, the riffs.
I mean,
I can't say that about a lot of AC/DC songs.
I can't say that about this song, but I mean, like, I guess, that's me coming from me who's heard, Problem Child 40 million times, Back in Black 40 million times, For Those About to Rock, Highway to Hell, all the classics.
And for the record, this is just about drinking in the middle of the night, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think that I don't think this song is very up for interpretation, Tyler.
Honestly, like the first time I heard it, I just thought it was nonsense. It made no sense to me.
I mean, that's kind of how, like, okay, so like when I listen to music, and I don't know if other people do this, I don't listen to the lyrics the first even few times. If I really, really like a song, then I will actually go in and like listen to the lyrics, figure out what it's about. Lyrics are not the most important, contrary to what you might think and what I might have even said. Lyrics are not the most important part for me. I think,
like, listen to that riff.
Yeah, like the structure of the song, the riffs, the melodies, I think that is, or I think like melodies and hooks and riffs and things like that really make a song for me. And I mean, like, okay, to be fair, I think so far I can say this is the song I'm most likely to remember after this album is over. Far.
It's actually a good song.
It's okay. Yeah, it's not a bad song, but I would not say it's better. I would say this is inferior
than Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution.
I would say this is worse than everything off of Back in Black.
Oh, fuck you. You're wrong.
So
it's better than half of Back in Black.
Come on, how can you hate Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution? It's such a good anthemic song.
I mean, that's partly why I hate it.
Like, honestly, like, when I first heard it, it blew me away.
I hate rock anthems. Like I hate those
I
like
mean,
jerk
usually me
off
too, but
shit.
like I was like, okay, fair enough. But like, to be fair, this was like when I was 12 and
Yeah.
I heard this song and I was like, whoa, this is actually like really good, catchy, memorable. I mean, like,
Dude,
it's
that's
not
how I felt
something.
about Money Talks.
Fair enough. I just really, really, really hate the vocals and the chorus and every aspect of that song and that album.
For those about to rock, we salute you. Also, that song is insanely good,
It
especially the
is.
ending. Especially the
Yeah.
ending of it.
With like the cannons and shit. All right,
Yeah.
what are we on now?
Oh, I forgot. We are now
Through.
on Through the Mists of Time.
I kind of like
And
this actually. You know what? We were joking about them like ripping off Led Zeppelin. I think this is the most Zeppelin-y song I've heard from AC/DC. And okay, real talk, AC/DC, for their lack of originality, they did carve their own niche. Like, yeah,
oh yeah.
nowadays there's bands like AC/DC, but not for a while. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't. There's no band like AC/DC even today.
there's a couple I can think of. Like,
Nobody that like perfectly captures their rhythms and like their catchy melodies, and
yeah.
I don't think that exists.
Yeah, like this is sort of like the logical conclusion of pop rock, pop metal.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Like,
what this is.
this is like, this is kind of like Kiss, Queen, Ozzy Osbourne, sort of Metallica, sort of fully realized. Um,
For the
and
record, A Shot in the Dark by Ozzy Osbourne is better than anything off of this album so far.
agreed. And I don't even really like
Shot
that
in the
album.
dark, but that
I don't
song's
really.
good, right?
Yeah, that's probably the best song on the album.
I
Wait, no,
personally love that album, but like,
no, no, no,
yeah,
no.
this
Wait,
that
no.
song
Secret
alone is
Loser
pretty
was
good.
Secret Loser on that album. That song was actually better.
There's a lot of good songs on that album. A lot of people call it like glam metal. No, to me, it's more just like traditional heavy metal, more so than like the classic neoclassical albums.
Maybe you're right. I don't know. I look. It's not awful, I guess, and I don't even know if anybody's actually trying to make the claim that it is awful, but um, I don't know. I just think it's the weakest of the classic Aussie era for sure.
This is a pretty cool part of the song.
I actually kind of like this song. This might actually be my favorite song so far. And it's
Yeah,
not even
pleasantly
like,
surprised by this one.
yeah, like this isn't, well, I'm not going to say different. They've done songs like this before, but it's not like just an anthem. Like,
Yeah.
this would not be the first song I would play in a live setting. This is a song that I think is, for AC/DC standards,
We
a
are
little
now
bit more
on Kick You When You're
complex.
Down.
Yeah. Oh, God, I already hate this.
Yeah, AC/DC lyrics are garbage.
Yeah, I kind of like vehemently hate this song, actually. Now, see
That
the
riffing
joke.
is very bluesy.
Now, see the joke is that AC/DC is bluesy.
I think you botched that, dude.
Now, see the joke is that I botched that. Now, I will be doing that several times throughout this video, very repetitively.
He does that several times very repetitively throughout the entire channel's history.
Very true. Very true. I
Yeah,
do that several times throughout the channel's history, very repetitively.
So, like, this song sucks except for the verse riff. The verse riff is actually kind of cool.
I mean, the riff, but like, yeah, this by far is the worst song on the record.
Nah, I still say Rejection is worse.
No,
Or
this is
was
like
it Rejection? Yeah, it was
this
Rejection. I said it's really
like,
bad.
look, I'm getting like puddle of mud. Oh, I fucked it up again vibes, and that's generally not a good thing.
But the riff is so good.
Okay, but no, okay, yeah, but this is giving me like Puddle of Mud. Okay, fine, I like Puddle of Mud to some degree.
Not
This is
that
giving me
album.
like not that album, but like Nickelback even vibes I'm getting off of this.
No, Nickelback's more like
This is kind of like frat boy rock. It kind of has that feel to it. Maybe it's not the same subject matter, but it has that feel to it. Like Beastie Boys, Nickelback, Limp Bizkit, maybe not Limp Bizkit per se, but you know what I mean, the same headspace.
I guess, yeah.
Like and that's not generally a good thing to compare to. And
Good solo
like
though.
yeah, and then like Nickelback, as much as it's cool to shit on them, like they have positive attributes, namely the instrumentals.
Yeah, you're right.
And yeah, so this is like almost entirely just ACDC taking a break from ripping themselves off and instead ripping off Nickelback. That's why I hate this more than anything on the album so far, and hopefully anything on the album to come. I hope there's not anything worse on this album. That would be terrible.
I know Demon Fire was really unique. I remember listening to that when it came out as a
I
single,
didn't
and I was
listen to
like, this
that
is really
one.
weird.
I didn't get to see that single for some reason.
Which is Spell is what we're on now. Wow,
Where
we're
is
so
Demon?
used to so long albums. We're already like halfway
Yeah.
through this one.
Yeah, I know. Like, what, our last one was like an hour and a half of Mr. Bungle. This is so
Yeah.
short. Demon Spies is the next song. Okay. You said that one was like not too bad.
Yeah, it's weird. I remember listening to it the first time and going like, this is actually kind
I
of
don't know why it
interesting.
didn't show up for me. Like, I listened to Realize and I listened to Shot in the Dark. Those were the two singles I saw.
I don't like this.
I mean, it's boring. It's not a like this isn't offensive, and the same thing with what was the other song you didn't like? Uh,
Rejection. I
Rejection.
reject that song.
Yeah, Rejection. Those songs aren't offensively bad to me. I think God, kick you while you're down. That song I think was offensive.
No, it
Like
wasn't that bad.
not like offensive subject matter or anything. No, I mean like
It wasn't that bad.
it was like I expected better from ACDC.
Why?
I mean, they had some kind of okay, fair enough.
So if we're going by the metric that I usually go by, which is like 7 out of 10 is an album I would return to, but it's not one that I would want to return to strongly. 6 in an album I wouldn't return to, but still had a positive experience. This is kind of going towards a like 5.5 so far. Like I'm not going to return to this ever,
Mm,
but I'm not sure I'm hating my time with it so far.
you know, I'm thinking about it right now, and I don't think we usually agree. We don't usually agree on ratings anymore. I think we did like earlier on in the show. I might
Yeah.
have to totally agree with you. 5.5 so far. That could go up or slightly down. Like I could see a 5 or a 6 coming out of this.
Yeah, this just isn't an album to me that deserves any
I
higher
mean,
than
like,
that so
yeah,
far.
like to me, a 5 is just straight down the middle
Yeah,
average. That's
pretty
how I
much.
see it.
It's not
Um,
something you're going to return to, but it wasn't bad.
like this is This is maybe slightly above average so far. I mean, like, there's definitely good songs. There's definitely some bad songs. I would say this is, yeah, like a 5.5. Like, not. See, like, average would imply that it's boring. I would not say the album 100% so far is boring. I could
That's why
see
I give it a
myself
5.5 instead
exactly.
of just a 5.
Like, I could see myself remembering Shot in the Dark or like
Here's
you know,
Demon Fire.
yeah, or
This
through
is
the oh my god, this is Angus, 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 Angus.
listen
Fuck,
to that
whole lot of
riff.
Rosie. This is whole lot of Rosie. Never had a woman like you.
I love that like really chromatic riff.
No, I do like the riff. I do like the riff, but this is just a whole lot of Rosie. It's almost like AC/DC is really repetitive. That would be a good joke. And we should
Yeah,
just like repeat
maybe we
that
should make
throughout
it.
the episode. Yeah, we
Yeah,
and then we could like repeat that joke throughout the rest of the video.
yeah, as
You know,
almost
very
as if it's
repetitively.
symbolic of the album. Yeah,
As all that would be no, that would
clever.
no, that would be
Be
stupid
unoriginal.
and that would be unoriginal and stupid and not at all funny. So we should do it. Um
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, what he said.
Yeah, see what I mean though? This is like a really good song.
It is. It is. This is I would say this still maybe isn't my favorite song. I'd still say Through the Mist is my favorite song. Or Through the Mists of Time, rather. Um, this is a close second, though. I don't think this saves it from being any more than a 5.5. I honestly think like 5.5 is where I'm going to leave it. Like, I could not see anything. I think 5.5 is just so representative of this album and as a whole. Like, I could like this is not the best AC/DC album I've heard. This is not Back in Black. This is not Let There Be Rock. This is not even Highway to Hell. This is I would say better than Rock or Bust. I haven't heard Black Ice, so I can't really comment on that. But I can definitely say this is better than Rock or Bust, which Rock or Bust, I actually have quite a bit of nostalgia for. That is, I think it was Black Sabbath 13 and Rock or Bust were like the two albums I bought, the two first albums I bought right when they came out. I think they came out around the same time too, right? Like, I think when did Rock or Bust come out? Like 2014, 2013, something like that?
I can look.
I can look. It's 2014. Yeah, so I think this came out
Yeah.
like 1 year after 13. Because I think that came out 2012, 2013, something like that.
Wow, it really has been 6 years.
Wow.
I guess that's not too unusual for AC/DC if you go
Yeah.
throughout their history.
Yeah, I mean, like, bands like this nowadays, they only, like, they don't need to release albums. They're sitting on a fucking gold mine. So, like, a lot of them just slack off. Like, Iron Maiden hasn't released an album since around this time as well. Metallica hasn't released an album in like 5 years. Whereas, like, back in their heyday, they released a new album every year or two.
Mm, I don't know. It sounds like every other AC/DC song I've ever heard.
What
But
song is this?
Rejection, I think.
Oh, okay. No, it's Wild
Witch's Spell, maybe.
Reputation.
Through the
Yeah.
Mists of Time, it
Yeah,
could be.
they like misspelled it. For some reason this is called Wild Reputation, but I swear this is just Shot in the Dark.
I mean, it's
It's, see
it's an
now
AC/DC song.
it's an AC/DC song. It's very repetitive.
I will say, like, as a positive to this album, there are a lot of really good riffs in this album,
Yeah,
even
there
for an
are.
AC/DC album. Like, even going back
So
to albums like Rocker Buster Black Ice, there were less
so
amazing riffs.
I read an interview where Angus said that this album was meant to inspire this generation to try and pick up a guitar, and I don't think it would actively dissuade that. Like, this is not going to,
This
like, you're
riff in
not
particular, I
you're not
kind of
going
want to
to
learn.
you're not gonna reach Back in Black or For Those About to Rock status. Like, look, yeah, we live in the everything old is new again phase, but still, that's just hipsters and nerds like us.
So, okay, I'm going to give my honest opinion on the album so far. So, like, from a critical stance, it
Yeah,
flows really well. It's produced really well. It's mixed really, really well. The performances are top notch.
yeah,
Nobody is bad here. The
yeah.
singer sounds good.
It's just some of
Everybody
the
is
songs are
performing.
weaker.
Yeah. The songwriting, the melodies, the lyrics, that's
Very
kind of
hit
where
or
I'm
miss.
starting to have an issue.
It's very hit or miss. Like, like you have songs that have like really good riffs, like
Well,
Through
I
the
mean, I
Mist
think
of
they pretty much
Time,
all have good
Shot in the
riffs, but like
some better than others
memorable
though.
riffs.
Yeah, memorable riffs, fine. Like Shot in the Dark has a pretty memorable riff. Through the Mist of Time. But then you
Demon
have
Fire, Kick You When
song,
You're
yeah, Demon
Down,
Fire. But then you have songs like Rejection
which just
and
sound like normal AC/DC riffing. And
No Man's
frankly,
Land.
Realize
We are
was the
on No
same.
Man's Land.
Wow, this is interesting.
You know a thing that they did on the first album and never revisited, as far as I'm aware of?
What's that?
On the what was it? It's a Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll. They had like that bagpipe solo, and they never revisited that aspect. Like, why? Like, you don't hear bagpipes enough in hard rock, and it works so well. Bagpipes are a loud and
It
obnoxious
works on
instrument.
so many levels.
No, it really does. Like, it's such a no.
It
I'm not even joking. It
really
does.
does.
Like, it's a loud, obnoxious instrument for loud, obnoxious music. It's perfect. Why has not only AC/DC, why has like, Judas Priest, Metallica, Slayer, even fuck, like, you could, like, don't tell me there's no way, like, fucking Metallica will use a hurdy-gurdy and a didgeridoo before they use fucking bagpipes. What the hell's wrong?
This is a really good song. One of the best on the album.
I wouldn't
Easily.
say that, but it's pretty good.
Oh, come on. Like, listen to
Actually,
that really interesting, like,
actually,
riff and
you're right. Like, I would say maybe not my favorite song on the album, but by far the most memorable. And they didn't release it as a fucking single. What the hell?
this would have been a really good single.
This would have been such a good single. I would have said, like, okay, like, uh, Demon Fire, Shot in the Dark, and then this song.
I don't really like the track listing. I'm not sure how I would fix it, but I'm not sure I like the track listing.
Mm,
Realize doesn't work as an opener. Shot in the Dark would have been a better opener, maybe.
mm, maybe something like this. Like, it's like it's like, I don't know. Like, I think Rock or Bust is like the perfect opener. Like the song Rock or Bust.
Yeah.
Like they're usually really good with openers, like Hell Spells. Could you imagine a track listing of Back in Black where Hell's Bells was not the opener?
No, that's one
Actually,
of the best openers
actually,
of all time.
yeah. Well, actually, yes, I can because the first way I listened to that album was on cassette, and I listened to the song Back in Black first. So, like for the longest time, that was the opener for me. But even so, that would have been like Back in Black would have been a good opener.
Yeah, it would have, of course. Pretty
Yeah,
much any song that starts like
yeah,
quiet, slow, and then works its way up into
yeah.
super energetic is a great opener because it eases you into the groove of the album. Okay,
Like
we are now on Systems Down.
System of a Down.
The
I
system has
wish.
been down for 2 songs that just
Yeah,
came out recently.
I know, right? Fuck, that is the ultimate 2020 thing. Like, not negative, but
It's the
like
best
the
thing that's happened in
exactly
all
that is the
year.
best thing. Like, 2020 is just like surprise after surprise after surprise. Like, only in 2020 could System of a Down have released anything, and they probably won't release anything again. But like, look,
It
like
took a Armenian humanitarian crisis to get them to release music, but fuck, at least they did it.
yeah. No, like okay, look, they want to like pretend like the one dude's political differences, like they want to pretend like their political differences don't, matter and they can work past them. You have a band that's uber political like System of a Down. You can't just overlook the fact that one is like a Bernie Sanders socialist and the other one is a hard right MAGA guy. Like that's like if this was like ACDC, you could overlook that, or hell, even the Ramones overlooked it enough.
There have been
Like,
bands that have broken up over that.
yeah, exactly. Like, and but like, like ACDC never went like super political. They probably could have survived that by like, just being on a work relationship. Once you start like doing like really political music, that stuff gets in the way. Like that's why I keep saying is like I think if some of these bands like Rage Against the Machine, Dead Kennedys, System of a Down just released like an album of about like, drinking and playing football or watching football or something like that. Like I think yeah, you would have had to eat your vegetables, but the reward for eating your vegetables is you would have gotten more good music later. Like it is a possibility that we will never see. It is a very good possibility we will never see a Rage Against the Machines album, and I think it's just because they burned out. And that happens a lot with like political type bands like that.
Yeah, you're right.
And like U2 is smart. They are definitely really political and they write a lot of political songs. That's not all they do. They do like, they have like their I still haven't found what I'm looking for. They have I will follow. They have song for someone. Every breaking wave. Like,
We are now on Money Shot.
oh my god, this album is like almost over. I feel like I just farted and listened to this album in the same interval of time.
Yep.
Yeah, 5 out of 5. That seems totally fair. I'm down. That's my final score. You? Are you going up? You going down?
I don't know yet. I want to hear the closer first.
You think the closer is really going to change it?
If it's a strong closer,
Maybe.
maybe.
Is this the closer?
No, there's one after it.
Oh, okay. This is pretty cool.
This album should have been called Code Red.
Oh, that would have worked so well. That would have worked on so many levels.
Seriously, there's a song called Code Red. The album is red. It would have worked perfectly.
Yeah. Now, see what they should have called this is Back in Black because there's also black in the title,
Yeah, you're right.
in the album cover.
And it blatantly steals from black culture, so there's that too.
Yeah. Now, see, the joke for those who may not be in the loop, and I can understand that because, our jokes are very intelligent. You need like a degree in astrophysics. It's like our humor is like Rick and Morty. You need to have like a 400 IQ in order to understand our humor. So I can understand that. Now, the joke, and prepare for this, I'm going to try and explain this as best as I can. The joke, now, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? I don't think you're ready for this. The joke, are you sure? Are you sure? You sitting down? You sitting down? Because you might have to stand up when I just like totally fucking rape your mind with this joke. The joke is that AC/DC is a very repetitive band. Now, I know that might come as a shock to some people because um, they're often, complimented for their wide range of musical diversity. But as it turns out, they have released the same fucking album for 40 years. So Tyler and I were doing a bit of satire just there, where we made we made a joke about their repetitiveness. Now you will hear that, I'm sure, later on throughout this review, very repetitively. Okay, we're on to the next song.
Code Red.
Code Red. I already love this. This is the best riff on the album. Whoa. Okay, yeah, 6 out of 10. Whoa. Okay. This could be one of the best AC/DC songs already.
That's really cool.
That is really good riff. All right, so I
feel conflicted on this one.
Yeah, like, okay. I feel conflicted on this entire album. It could have been a lot worse, but it also could have been a little bit better, I guess. Like, if this was I would say, like, the best a post Bon Scott AC/DC album could do is like a 7 or 8 out of 10. That being said, this is a 6 out of 10. So I don't. Like, if you're a fan of AC/DC, you already listened to this album. You don't need me to tell you. This album is not going to change anybody's mind, is what I'm saying. Like, if you absolutely hate AC/DC, think they're a bunch of corporate sellouts, think that they just release the same album over and over again, very repetitively, you're not going to have your mind changed. This ticks all of the boxes of every AC/DC album. It is a corporate sellout, and they do just sell themselves on a brand. That's what AC/DC is now. AC/DC has, they join the ranks of Iron Maiden or Metallica, where they are, or even like Judas Priest. They aren't a band anymore. They are a brand. They sell their brands like Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Like, they
I'm
sell their
surprised you
logo.
didn't mention Kiss in that. They're the penultimate brand.
You're right. Like Kiss, like AC/DC at this point is a logo that happens to have some music.
So I think I'm going to go 6.5.
Okay, why?
I think so. I went through the track listing and I found 6 songs that I think are good and 6 songs that range from subpar to bad, in my opinion. So that says about half the album is at least worth returning to. And
Okay, I'm
of
looking
those
through
6
the
songs,
one,
I would say that there
two,
are at least 3 of them that are memorable enough I would probably
3.
listen on their own outside of this album. So, given that,
Um,
I probably won't return to this album, but I'll probably return to songs off of it.
I would
So
say maybe
6.5.
I found 5 songs I liked. So yeah, I mean I'm just not going to be able to be as nice to this album as you were. Which is actually a little bit surprising because I'm generally more of a fan of AC/DC than you are. But 6 out of 10 is where I'm locked. I was I was really looking forward to us agreeing on something, but that'll have to wait. No, but I mean, like what I was saying before, this is a brand. Like this album is not going to change anybody's mind about AC/DC. If you love them and you can't get enough of Hell's Bells and Highway to Hell and Thunderstruck, and for those about to rock, all the anthems, you're gonna have a good time with this one. If you hate AC/DC and hate what they represent of the corporatization of rock and metal, then you're gonna hate this album.
Fair.
This is not going to make any new fans of AC/DC, and I mean, at this point, why does that even matter? AC/DC already has a loyal fan base that are, well, undying. Like they've withstood AC/DC releasing the same album for 30, 40 years. They can withstand one other album that sounds exactly the fucking same as everything else they've done.
Yeah.
Like they know what to expect. It's not shocking anymore. It's not a controversial statement. Like nobody's like no fans of AC/DC are, you know, clamoring for a deeply dark political angsty punk rock. No, they just want to hear for those about to rock or Back in Black again. And this does that. I mean, one of the songs is quite literally fucking Whole Lot of Rosie, I think. But
Before I watched this, I don't remember if I said this on the podcast, but I was watching Sea of Tranquility's review of this album, and somebody in the comments section said that this is exactly what you would expect from AC/DC at this point, but done very well. And I think that's very, very accurate
yeah,
upon
well,
listening to the album. It's exactly what you would expect from AC/DC, and it's
very
done very well.
well, I think is a little bit beyond what I could say. I would say it is done better than it could have been. It could have been a lot worse, but it wasn't. It was like there was, you know, inadvertently or not, there was some soul put into this record. And if you peel back the layers of corporatism, you can find some soul. But like that's it's AC/DC.
Exactly, yeah.
I can't say anything more than this is an AC/DC album. If you if you like the band, you've already heard it. If not, you're never going to listen to this. And nothing I could ever say, or you could ever say, or any of the media outlets could ever say would persuade you anyway, even if this was a 10 out of 10 gold mine. It's just it's an AC/DC album.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear for those about to rock again, it's probably on this album.
Yeah. All right. So without further ado, I think we can wrap this up. If there's
No, we
nothing more you
can't.
want to add.
Well, there is one other thing I would like to add.
Okay.
AC/DC is a very repetitive band. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I bid you audio do.
I forgot we were doing that.